What's up guys, RussLyman here, and I drive a freaking Mario Kart car.
Holy sweet lord.
What's up guys, RussLyman here, and welcome to the Kart build. That's right, I drive a custom Mario Kart car. It's a Scion XA that I fully customized. I'm going to take you through the whole process of when I purchased the car up to how the car stands today. But before we get into that, let me give you a 30-second backstory.
I bought the car brand new in 2006 and it stayed stock for a few years till I added Mario throwing a fireball down the side. This started the Mario theme. A few years passed and it was time to step up my game. I got a new body kit and painted the car with tintable and chalkboard paint to match the NES system. This was the base for version 2.0. Artist friend Tom Ryan helped with the graphics and the car was really standing out. The car was only in this mode for a few months when tragedy struck while on the highway, hitting a patch of ice and totaling the car. It was a big loss, but luckily I wasn't hurt. I knew I wanted to continue on with the theme and I still really enjoyed the Scion car, so I was on the hunt for another Scion XA.
And guys, without further ado, here's the Kart build.
Alright guys, we're at another dealership here. I got a red, it's salsa red, 2005 Scion XA I'm going to be taking a look at, going for a test drive. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's got a sunroof. Wait a minute. Wait, hang on. It's got a sunroof up there. The only issue I see is that putting the turtle shell on. It's gonna block the sunroof.
All right, guys, we're out on the test drive here. It runs pretty smooth, I have to say. Gets up to speed real nice. I'm liking this sunroof here. It's a little chilly out to have it open, but I figured, hey, why not? It actually came with this nice little suction cup mount that I can put my phone on here, so that's a bonus. And we're back. Right through this gross puddle. Boom!
Alright guys, we ended up driving out here and I got my new Scion. Right there, picked it up, nice bright red. Finished up all the paperwork, get it situated, so I'm gonna head home, put some details into it, and yeah, let's go.
Here we go!
Nice brush.
Now we're back at the house. Mom's trying to get some cleaning stuff to...
What can we use?
There's like sap on the hood of the car, but
Liquid.
I'll just wash the car, the regular car. But we're gonna start grabbing some stuff out of the bins I got down here and putting it on the car. Why wait? Been home 4 minutes, let's mod this thing.
My carport will turn into a car repair shop now.
That's it, we gotta get it back up to speed. Well guys, I got a few mods I want to put on the car while we got this nice sunshine out. Let's see what we can do. Guys, well, it's a nice warm Wednesday. I got the rest of the day off and we're going to be working on the M cart. I took out my old body kit, my bumper, my side skirts, and what's left of my back bumper. So we're going to try to fit it to this car. I'm not sure how it's going to bolt in because it's an 05 and mine was an 06, and there's slight body changes, but we'll see how things line up. Alright guys, we got a little bit more work done on the car. We did get the front bumper on. As you can see here, I'm going to end up doing a little bit of Bondo work because it has a couple nicks and stuff, and we're going to paint it black for now, just so it blends in. It won't be the final color, but I'm trying to work on the side skirts. Got to do a lot of cutting, and we're going to try to get this back bumper on because it's in 3 pieces, so we'll see how far we get. This damn thing. Never use these.
Alright, so I ended up cleaning off this area here to fit the side skirt, and I need to tape it off so when we lay the fiberglass, it's gonna stick to the tape and not the car. Alright, we ran out of daylight basically yesterday, but I did a little more work, fiberglass on there, and you gotta let it sit and pretty much dry. If it's not hot out, it's gonna take forever to cure up. So it's the next day, and my side skirts are pretty much cured off. We're gonna take them off and do a little more work on them. So here's the fiberglass all cured up. I kind of did a little marker line to where I'm gonna cut, Dremel all that off, and then we can fill this all in with body filler and everything. Same thing on the front here, did a little marker line, got in nice and good right there. Then I got the bumper on, but the front grille has this like big gap from sitting on the bumper, so I laid some fiberglass here. I'm gonna reinforce it a little bit more, but we're gonna fill in this transition here so it looks more seamless there. There's the back of the side skirt, just some of the paper and a lot of the tape stuck to it. So we try to peel off, you know, what we can. And then we're gonna cut back on that marker line. And if we wanna try to strengthen the fiberglass here, we have to do it from the front side, because right now this is a perfect fit for that spot there. So if we want to build any of this up that we need to, has to be from the front so we don't mess up that perfect mold. So some of it kind of look where my line is, and if I want to build up a little bit, I can add fiberglass now. This is nice and strong. I'll need a little bit, just a bit right here, just to strengthen that bottom there, but other than that, pretty good. Alright guys, we got warm weather. It's been raining all week, so I haven't done anything on the car. I could only work on it in the carport, and now that we got some sunshine, let's get to it.
know some people are freaking out. I'm sanding the hood. It's a limited edition paint color and all that, but I'm gonna paint the whole car anyways. And black bumper, black hood. It's just gonna look pretty badass. And plus, there was this sap that was like stuck on the hood, and I couldn't get it off. So I tried everything, Google on, and a few other techniques, and still couldn't get it off. So let's sand it off. Patreon supporters, you are forever part of the hood of this car. It will be painted over it, but you guys will know what's under there. Alright guys, we just got to the beach. The car's all dry for now. Looking pretty awesome with the black and red. Alright guys, it's another day to work on the car. We're going to try to get the back bumper somewhat put back together. It's in 3 parts, so we'll see how close we can get. This way I can lay some fiberglass, let it dry while the sun comes out, cures it up. Let's do it.
But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so.
Okay, what I got here is a copy basically of the stock bumper here that I made. Fits on there like that, so then I can transfer it to fit in here.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when...
And then this will go onto my bumper here. We'll fiberglass that, so then it's a better fitment and we'll be good to go. I just have to trim this backside here.
In this town, look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at the beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me. I wanna drive a faster car.
Whew, it's hot out here. Well, I'm gonna take a quick break from working on the car, and Mom actually got a lawnmower, so I have to put the lawnmower together and mow this lawn. So let's do that. So basically what I'm doing is creating kind of like a temporary bond with the hot glue just to hold it together on the front. And then from the back of the bumper, I'm going to fiberglass it and build the strength and everything up from the back. But I need to hold it together while I lay the fiberglass. So hopefully this works out. Alright guys, we're continuing work on the bumper. I did put a bunch of hot glue here on the front of it, and that was kind of to hold it together until I could add some fiberglass on the back, and you can kind of see where the split is with the light coming through here. But we reinforced it there, so we just got to make the front of it look pretty now. Let's get to it.
In the summer, when you left it was cold, said we loved one another, guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer, our love was out of control. I've been going crazy without you, I'm so alone. I met you in the
Alright, I cleaned up most of the bumper here. This part's pretty much even, so that's good. Yeah, a little bit on the bottom here. We'll fix that up. But it's pretty strong. Let's get to it.
in the summer, when you left it was cold, said we loved one another, guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer, our love was out of control. I've been going crazy without you, I'm so alone. I met you in the
Alright guys, we're continuing work on the Scion M card here. We got the back bumper to finish. Just a lot of body work and sanding to get it to paint so we could put it on the car. It's been raining a lot this week, so I couldn't get too much work done. But we'll see what we can get done today. Also ended up getting in a HID kit for my headlights to make them a little bit brighter. That's what I had before. The stock headlights are a little bit too yellow for me and dim. I don't like them, so I ordered the kit. So we'll see if we could get that in the car today as well. Alright guys, we got the one of the HIDs in from HID Extra. Great company. Definitely suggest you guys checking them out. Easy plug and play system. I got the thinner ballasts so they're easier to hide. I'm gonna have to mount them somewhere on the car, and then I ended up getting those tiny side marker or daytime running lights that match the HIDs. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's the HIDs with the similar bulb here, and we go over to the stock. And you can see how it's yellowed. And here's the daytime running lights. A little hard to see with the, obviously it being daytime, but there's the nice bright white, and then compared to that, it's just a different look. I think it looks a lot better with the more white, like so. This is a 6000K. If you go 8000, they start to look blue, so I always like the look of these.
Keep it nice and clean, not freak out and cause a scene. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Not sure who I really am, just be cute and super bland. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Been playing it down, but I'm so getting tired. Now won't you meet high? 'Cause I've been feeling that crazy, and I need to lose control. So baby put the record on, baby put the record on. Hit it, and I've been needing.
Also guys, I was driving home the other day and my freaking exhaust broke. The pipe that goes from the catalytic converter to the muffler broke right where it meets the muffler. So now my exhaust sounds so loud. Check it out. So although that kind of sounds like a race car and some people are going for that, it's definitely not good, and I'll be breathing in gross exhaust fumes and all that. But I did order a new exhaust. It's going to take about 6 days to come in, and I'm going to be bringing it to my buddy, and we'll see if we need to get a new pipe or whatnot. But that's next on the list.
Feeling that crazy, and I gotta let it go. So baby put the record on, I'm not gonna need that song. Hit it. Take my hand, and we don't need to do the things we don't want to do.
I'm not sure what happened with the fabrication of the back bumper, but for some reason the sides are no longer matching up. So I think I'm just gonna have to copy new ones. I'm trying to not cut the factory ones and put those on. It would be a perfect fit, but I kind of want to keep the factory back bumper for like winter and stuff like that. So for now I'm just going to paint the back bumper black just so it matches kind of with the body kit for the time being, and then I'll fabricate new pieces for that later this week when it's a little bit more sunnier out and the fiberglass can cure up faster. Alright guys, time to open the box and see if we can get some of these interior car seat covers on. Here's gum stain. Okay, we did the main thing and clean the original seats. You don't want to put seat covers over gross, nasty seats. So we got that all cleaned up. So we're going to start putting these in, see how it goes. Alright guys, we're headed to the shop so I can get my exhaust put on so it won't sound crazy like this anymore. Alright guys, we just got to Meineke. My buddy Rocker is going to hook me up with the exhaust because we have to weld and I don't have a welder, so it's going to be a lot easier if I let him do it. So we got the professionals taking care of this one. Surprised it didn't fall off while I was driving.
I can't believe it didn't fall off. Holy cow.
Good to go. Alright guys, we just left Meineke. My buddy Rocker hooked it up, get my exhaust on there. They ended up chopping part of the pipe on my factory exhaust and welding on the new exhaust. This way it's a nice tight fit, and yeah, we don't have any air leaks or anything, and it definitely sounds great. This is the same exhaust I had in the old Scion M car, and I really like the tone of it. It's a little bit low, doesn't sound terrible. Yeah. Okay, I got the driver's seat nice and tight. You can see how well it fits, but here there's all this bagginess in the passenger seat, so we have to tighten it up. There's a piece that goes through here and I have to pull it from the back and kind of massage it. So it's a lot of effort to get it to go, but once it's fit, look at that tight fitment. It's great. Let's get to it. Okay, unfortunately the car didn't come with its stock headrest, so I can't use the back covers until I track some down. I had my old ones that were in my front seats at the M cart there, the first one, and they have TVs in it, so put those in the back. Won't be super uniform, but still works. It's black and matches. Let's get the bottom seat in and we'll be done. Alright guys, that was pretty exhausting. We got everything inside the car, front seats, back seats, and as time it heats up and I'm sitting in the car, it's going to fit tighter and tighter and look that much more professional and custom, and you wouldn't be able to tell that they're car seats. Clazzio does a great job. It takes obviously a couple months because they're hand making these, but as you'll be able to see, they look awesome. Alright guys, we got a nice sunny day and we should have some time to be fiberglassing on the car. I got the back bumper done. Fortunately I didn't film it. I just needed to get it done. It's fitted now and we got the primer on it, but I'm working on my midwing and I need to attach it to the hatch. So that's what we're going to be working on right now. Alright guys, I had to back it up in the carport to get it under the roof here. We're supposed to be getting a pretty bad rainstorm. I want a fiberglass and I gotta let it sit, and I don't need rain coming all down in the fiberglass. It's gonna mess with the cure and all that, so we'll see how much work we can get done. It's getting pretty dark, so we'll get this on tape too. Guys, it's just starting to rain. I pulled the car in under the carport so this way it doesn't get wet. But yeah, it got real dark out and it's just starting to rain. Mom's closing all the windows. Alright guys, it started pouring out, so we got half the car under here staying dry. And we got some cool air finally. Nice and cool down. I'll probably be doing some video gaming and editing for the rest of the day, and we'll let this dry up. Alright guys, so basically what we did, I made these little templates that are going to fit in here, and I have some screws on the back, and I put some bolts here, this way it won't ever loosen, and then they're going to insert into the car just basically like that, and I have to attach this piece to the other part of the midwing, and that's how we'll attach it. So I need to make this hole bigger than this nut so it can sit flush, because right now there's a little gap. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so basically what we did here is I put some clear packing tape and then waxed it so the mold's going to peel off perfectly. And I have my little side things here that flow with my mid-wing, so I just wanted to make a little mold so it fits tighter. So I'm just going to cut it once the fiberglass cures up, and then we'll be able to attach these to the side of the car with some 3M tape, and we're good to go. Alright guys, well we're going to be painting my car today with chalkboard paint. I'm going to take you through the steps on how to do it, and it's a pretty cost-effective way to change the color of your car. You could get custom tintable chalkboard paint, so you can make it really any color that you want. Let's get to it. Well, first things first, I have to take off the roof rack because we need to paint the roof, and that can't be on there when we do that. So remove anything on your car that you're not going to paint. Okay, now that everything's off the car, I'm gonna hit some spots actually with some sandpaper, maybe 60 grit or a little bit higher. This way it gives the chalkboard paint something to really bite into. And I put some temporary paint on the side skirts and bumper and just kind of brushed it on there. So I want to get those brush strokes out of there so when I roll on the chalkboard paint, it goes on smooth. Now is a good time too to go through and thoroughly check the car for dents. If you want to do any repairs with Bondo or something like that, you can do it now. This way it's sticking to the factory paint, or you could sand it down to the metal so the Bondo is adhering to that before you put the chalkboard paint over it. But if you do miss any small spots, you can always Bondo over the chalkboard paint. Alright guys, once you got your bodywork set on the car, you could go ahead and clean it. We're just going to hose it off some soap and water. Guys, it's all clean and nice and ready for tape. I got some blue painter's tape and we're basically going to tape off all the trim and stuff. We don't want paint on it, so long tedious process, but has to be done. So here's the color scheme we're kind of going for. Red on top with a white stripe and blue on the bottom. So we're gonna have to paint them, let it dry, tape it off, and do the next section. So should come out pretty cool. Alright guys, I got my wheels out of storage. These are the old wheels that were on the other M cart. They're red and blue, but we're going to be painting them with some Plasti Dip. Here's the can I got. It is Daytona Yellow, I guess. 1969 Daytona Yellow. But yeah, there's already a couple layers of Plasti Dip on these wheels, so I'm not going to need a whole lot on here, but normally if you're going from scratch, you want to get 5, maybe 7 coats of Plasti Dip on the wheel so it holds up. So we're just going to be cleaning these off, and maybe we'll be able to get away with 2 or 3 coats. Alright guys, I got the wheels all taped off here. Got the blue painter's tape going around the whole side here. This way it's just an easier cleanup. Alright guys, it is the next morning. We let the car dry a little bit overnight because we lost some sunlight, but I'm going to be adding more coats to this. Yeah, so it's going to be nice and warm out. The coats will dry in between that. I'm trying to get the red and blue base down, and then we're going to add the white stripe after. And you guys can definitely grab a little foam brush to get all those detailed parts that you can't get in with the roller and go back and fill it in. And it's great for touch-ups as well, stuff that you forgot. You can always go back and just dab it in. Alright guys, I finished masking off the car to add the white line going down the car. I masked off the door handles and my little pieces on my midwing. Those are going to stay red, so that'll be a nice pop of color. Yeah, we just matched up some body lines, pull the tape taut, and should be good to go. I'm going to have to go back in and fill in some red and kind of go back and forth, but it's going to look good. Guys, well, it unfortunately downpoured yesterday and the car got soaked, so peeling the tape off was a little bit kind of difficult. I was gonna leave it on so I can do a couple more coats to get that nice crisp line, but I had to take it off. Some parts peeling the tape off, the paint actually came with it, and that's due to me not sanding that area enough so the paint had something to, you know, grip onto. But with this paint, it's easy to go back and fix that part with a little sponge brush. Just hit it with a little bit of sandpaper and it'll blend in nicely. So I'm going to be doing that, touching up some other parts of the car, and it should be pretty good to go. We're going to get the wheels on there, and then we'll start with the Mario graphics, and it'll be great. Alright guys, it's been a couple days. The Plasti Dip is now dry. I had to go out and get one more can to do enough coats on the wheel to really coat it and get it nice and bright yellow. But we're good to go, so we're going to put them on. Alright guys, well it's the next day. I got the wheels on the car, but when I went to test drive it, the back wheels were rubbing. Unfortunately, they were rubbing on the axle, and I'm going to have to get some spacers to push the wheel out a little bit. So right now I have my old wheels right here, and I painted them yellow to match. So we were running 15s in the back, 17 in the front. Kind of weird. Still works. Looks cool. Whatever, I don't mind. It's another rainy day, so we can't get anything done, but the car is pretty much close to where it needs to be. I'm gonna get my graphics done and all that, but let's check out some beauty shots of the car.
Hey, we can run away. You say you want to. You wanna go back, you wanna go back to a place where we can hide. You wanna stay there, wanna stay there. You wanna stay there, we can leave it, play me high.
Alright guys, it's another day and I'm going to be taking the headliner out of the car so we could cover it in fabric. I got to take apart all the stuff inside to pull the headliner down. It's quite a process, but we're parked under the shade, so hopefully it won't be too bad.
Funny how the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams. They try to bring a sucker down, singing louder than the crowd. Listen to the rhythm, I'm feeling brand new. Keep pushing forward, it's gonna save you. Never look down, love, not when we shine so bright. The sun is getting warmer, but when we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border, but when we're floating up like helium. Sip me up like lemonade, we both know it's bittersweet.
Okay, once you got all the pieces out of the car, the headliner is free to come out. So I like to work from front to back, and I remove the visors, the oh shit handles, and the pillars, and got them all organized, put them in a box, and any screws, so I wouldn't lose them, I put back. And make sure if you're disconnecting the seat belt that you put the harness back.
Put the candle back.
I put the bolt back in and made sure it was secure because I'm going to be driving around without the headliner while I finish it. So you want to make sure you're safe while you're driving. So yeah, I never took a headliner out with a sunroof in it, so we'll see how that goes, but here goes nothing.
It's forever young. No. Listen to the rhythm, I'm feeling brand new. Keep pushing forward, it's gonna save you. Never look down, love, not when we shine so bright. I know the sun is getting warmer, but when we soar.
Well, there it is. It wasn't too bad to get it out. I still have to get the piece that covers the sunroof when you want to shade it. I have to see how that comes out. But all in all, not too bad.
Way among the clouds, the sky is just a border, but when we're floating up like helium.
Okay, it's a little more involved just to get this little piece out, but you have to get your 10mm socket and take out the bolts that are here, here, and one up front. Then push the little tabs on the plastic piece right here so you can pull this out of the way here. Leave this bracket right here, and I had to use a regular flat one here. It wouldn't work with my ratchet, just to get in there to get the leverage. Pop that out. Now this has some play in it, and you have to go to Harbor Freight and pick up one of these tiny little screwdrivers so you could get into a narrow spot, because there is a screw back here holding this little plastic piece on, and you can bend it down just enough so you can get to the screw. And the piece comes off. They can't make it easy. Okay, now we got our headliner out and the sunroof piece as well. So we got our tape measure, and we're gonna get an accurate measurement of how much fabric we need to cover this. I'd say about 78 inches long. This way it gives us some wraparound. And since we pulled this out separately, we could always cover just this piece with a different type of fabric. So when we pull it over, it has a different graphic. Maybe I can get a decal that says Nintendo. You can do anything to customize it, or just put it in the same so it all flows good. Another thing I want to take care of on the car is the roof rack. It's just a universal roof rack I bought on eBay, and it fits okay, but I'm always so nervous of the roof rack ripping off the car. Being on the highway with this shell and everything, you can never be too safe. So I'm gonna bolt it to the car. Now that we have the headliner out and all the insides, I can access some points and get some bolts in there.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude.
Alright guys, so we finished all bolting the roof rack on. I put a lot of silicone on the bolts that I put through the inside of the roof, and then silicone all on the outside, screwing it in with a washer so it's nice and secure and no water is going to be getting in there. We also did some work on the turtle shell. I added some special latches to keep the front part closed. A lot of times when I was driving on the highway, it would open just a little bit because the latch on the side had some play in it. So I got these latches off eBay. They pull it tight and you can adjust it. And I painted them so they kind of blend in so you don't really notice it. So all in all, the shell's looking pretty awesome. I added 2 bolts to the side of it so this way the shell doesn't shift from side to side and it stays center to where it is located on the car. So this way it's always perfect. That's all we ended up getting to this week. I didn't get a chance to pick out the fabric or apply it, so that'll be in the coming weeks. But stay tuned for that. What's up guys, RussLyman here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to cover your headliner in your car with your choice of fabric. Let's get into it. Russ, what you doing? Let's find out. First things first, in this week's video, I had to choose the fabric I wanted to use for my headliner. So I headed out to Joann's Fabric. They have all sorts of fabric depending on your theme. They actually even had some Mario and Zelda stuff and Minecraft. But that wouldn't fit the car's theme, so I kept on looking. Maybe this furry one. After much searching, I decided to go with checkered flags because that tied in the Mario Kart theme. Just had to get it cut to size and we were ready to go. I next headed over to Lowe's because we need some spray adhesive to attach the fabric with. I definitely recommend this 3M77. It's super strong and durable. Alright guys, I got the Super Spray 77 by 3M, and this is a spray glue, and what you're going to do is spray it on both surfaces, and you have to let it sit and wait till it gets tacky, and then that's when you adhere both surfaces together and it becomes a permanent bond. So hopefully this big can is enough to do the headliner. If not, I got some old stuff too we'll use. Alright, jump the gun a little bit. I need to remove these guys right here before I cover it in fabric. I gotta run to the store and pick up some paint so I can paint the trim. So once we put the headliner back in, I can put the trim back up. Let's go. Alright, we got the paint. Back to the house. Now, much needed lunch break. Alright guys, a nice hot day out once again. We're gonna try to get this headliner done. I got the glue and the fabric. We already did the sunroof piece that goes overhead, so we just gotta tackle the big headliner and paint some of the trim pieces. So let's get to it. Alright guys, basically what I'm doing is I'm using that SEM paint to match interior pieces. Here's the stock piece A-pillar, and it's kind of this tan gray looking color, and with the black finish it kind of adds some texture to it with that SEM paint. So we're going to get this one painted and we'll have both of them all set to go. This is the little handle to pull the sun visor closed,
and you can see it has a little bit of texture on it with the paint. Pretty cool. Alright guys, we're ready to lay down some glue and get this fabric stuck. As you can see though, I put some pieces here on the corners. The fabric isn't quite wide enough, and I think it was going to show a little bit, so I just wanted to make sure here and on the other corners I just put some extra scrap fabric so when we lay it on it won't be as noticeable. Most of this stuff will be tucked up anyways and you won't see it, but just in case. So I'm going to try to do half of it, spray I think the front half and get that laid down, and then do the back half. You don't want to go too big and spray everything and then everything's going to be sticking where you don't want it. Especially with this, it's going to be hard to make sure I line up everything and it's nice and symmetrical. So let's get to it. Okay, so right here it was tough pulling the fabric taut, so what I did was cut some extra fabric and I'm going to spray glue it on here and then just fold it over so you won't even notice. Bada boom. So right now I'm just kind of poking holes from the front side, so where the clips go, where the dome lights go and everything, and then I'm trimming up the side so I could fold everything over nice and neat. I'm going to spray some glue and we'll be good. Alright, it wasn't too bad. I could have put the clips in, but I realized they're gray. We gotta paint them. Alright, ready? Bada boom! finished up the headliner. I got it in there and all situated. Most of the pillars in. I have something special planned for the B pillars to make them stand out. But I forgot to add the most important detail. I got this from my Patreon supporter, Paige. She gave me this a while ago and I just haven't had a chance to put it on, but now that the blue shell is on, we could put on blue shell on board right in the window. Alright guys, just got back from the shop picking up the Mario graphics. Fortunately I couldn't put them on right away because we had a storm and actually a cold front came in. I got a hoodie on. But we're going to get these graphics on the car. I have the side graphics, some that are going on the windshield and the back bumper, so we'll start from easiest to hardest. Let's go. And I'm just using a little solution here. It's rubbing alcohol mixed with water, half and half. And it's just cleaning the area so there's no dirt or debris. There it is, guys. There's the decal. So I picked up my decals locally at Sinorama in Orange. The staff there was really nice. I was actually already in the system. They're like, why do I have you in here as Saturday matinee? Well, many years ago I went there to get some decals when I was in a band, so hey, full circle. So here it is. My buddy Tom Ryan designed it. Hopefully we can get this on with no creases. Should be pretty easy because it's just flat right on the door. Let's get to it.
got the first side on, ready to peel it off. I think we did pretty good. Let's check it out. Okay, so we got the Mario graphics on, not too bad. Now I have some checkerboard patterns. One's going on the front fender and the rear fender as well. Little kind of like racing flags, and this ties in together with my headliner and the race car theme. So we're gonna lay these out and hopefully this goes just as well. Alright guys, we got it on. That was definitely painstaking. I didn't get too many wrinkles. I'll show you the few that I did get, and it was mostly on the checkerboard stuff just because of all those curves. The Mario and Luigi was just straight flat. There's a couple maybe on Luigi, but overall looks pretty good. I have to pick up, there's little stickers that go right over here that say at RussLyman and hashtag Scion MCart. They just forgot to print them. So I'm going to swing by the shop, pick that up, and that's all the graphics on there. We did it. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this cool little DIY VIP table that can hold a drink and some other items. Coming up.
Russ, what you doing? Russ, what you doing? Russ, what you doing? Let's find out.
Now, before we get into the video, I just wanted to explain to you basically what a VIP table is. It's something we refer to in the car scene Basically, VIP means more of a luxury style aesthetic to the design of your car. People put curtains, chandeliers in the car, and they'll make these VIP tables where they'll put wine bottles or maybe some wine glasses or other sorts of things to be displayed on there. So you basically make it to fit what you want to carry. Now with my car being a Mario car, I'm theming it more towards Mario, making it look like a brick and be able to hold a can of soda or, you know, pop an NES game in there for no real reason, but more for display. And you can change it up as you see fit. Alright, enough backstory, let's get into the build and see how I made it. Alright, first thing on the list is cut up the lumber that we just got. We have to make it into 4 parts, so we're going to have the top, bottom, and sides, and we're going to cut them down to 12 inches. So we'll get to the chop saw, and it'll make easy work of that. Alright, when I picked up the wood, I just realized that I got it too wide. It's a little bit wider than what my original box was. Here's one that's semi-complete, and you can tell it's not as wide. It's a couple inches shorter, but if you want to make a thicker box, you could just buy thicker wood. I'll just be making this as a prop for my room, because in the car it would stick out a little bit too far. So alright, the next step is just basic block building. This is going to be the base here, and we're going to add the sides right on top of it. Essentially like that, and you can put the top right on then. And then you can also line it up. This way you know where to put your glue. And just mark a line on each side here. Also, when we put our inner parts and stuff, if you're going to drill out the top, it has to be within this here, so you can do that on the lid as well. You can see in the example here, I have the cup holder, and this is for a cartridge and my controller, and I had to make sure it was in these lines here when it's sat down, or else it wouldn't fit or work. So just something to consider. Now what you're going to want to do is get your aluminum rod and basically see how far in you have to go to drill your hole. You don't want this piece sticking out too far, essentially. So usually you just give it maybe an inch or so. Your headrest as a reference. Basically drill a hole, and as long as this fits through it, it's gonna fit through the aluminum rod there. And just grab your measuring tape, and you're just gonna measure how far to the piping is, so you know where to make your bend. You could always make it in a little bit tighter or adjust it, but basically once you get your hole, that's where the rod's going to go through, and you won't be able to adjust it back and forth. Where you can push it right up against your seat, make the bend over, you know where your hole's got to be. Luckily measuring tapes bend, so you can do that here. 3/4 of an inch would be center, and like I said, our bend is going to be at 3 inches. Now what you can do is take a nail and find where you're going to drill your hole and just make a little divot. And this will help the drill bit not wander. So I grabbed this set at Harbor Freight, and it just comes with assorted drill bits that step down to bigger diameters. So I'll use this one until our headrest fits through. Made a mark where we want to bend the aluminum, and if you don't have a vise, this is an easy trick to do. Just grab a scrap 2x4 and line up your mark at the edge
of the 2x4 where you want it to bend over to get that 90 degrees. Get most of it going with just pulling it. Bada boom. Alright, so there's our little 90-degree bend, and now we just have to measure how far down we want it to go off from the headrest. One thing you'll need next is a Dremel. It just makes the job easier, and a cutting bit, a cutting wheel, essentially for metal. You can use a hacksaw if you have that. It works just as fine. This just does the job faster. Now we can check to make sure these fit and line up, so pop them into your headrest. How it would be if I was normally driving, so if someone was in the back seat, this is where this would stay. And here's my semi-finished box here, so you can line up, you know, if you want it on the knees here or a little bit higher. And like I said, you can adjust this after putting different holes in here and screwing it at certain points on the box here. Alright, as for what you want to put up on top of here is all up to you. I made this with a little hole saw attachment for your drill to drill out the width. This would be the same as like a Red Bull or something like that, and they'll fit in there. You can make it bigger for a soda can, it might fit a water bottle or whatever. And all I ended up doing was on the bottom here, ended up getting bigger pieces of foam and gluing it in here. This way, I don't know if you guys will be able to see inside there. I think you can. So you can see the foam inside there, and it just acts as a cushioning. I did that, and then for the NES game, it's just foam in there. You can use wood, but then it's going to make it heavier. And then with this slot here, I just cut all the way through and then put a piece of board behind it. So your NES game sits right in there, your drink, and then you can take your controller and it won't fall all the way down. It'll just rest right there. And there's a quick look at the round over edge on it. It's very subtle, works great with like the cup holder area and all that. And if you don't have a router, you can always go with sandpaper and kind of get the same effect. It's just more consistent when you're using the router bit to get those nice smooth edges. I just got some leftover thin wood here I'm gonna cut up and use for the sides here. This way it's not as bulky, nice and thin.
Okay, so now we're gonna add the bricks, and I have my completed piece here, and I just used styrofoam, strips of styrofoam here that I'm just gonna be cutting. And here's the paint choice that I use. It's a terracotta color. I thought that fit the best with the brick there. It's kind of an orange color. And for the next step, make sure you have some protection on because you're going to be sanding foam and you don't want to breathe that stuff in. All right. And I'm using a stone tip here that's kind of curved. This way it doesn't eat through the foam that fast. These are all cut up, ready to go, and I'm going to be gluing them on with actual wood glue. I don't want to use hot glue because this is going to be in the car, and with the windows up the car can get very hot and the hot glue can remelt. So with wood glue, although it'll take longer to dry, it's going to hold up for the long run. Now it's good with using the wood glue over hot glue. I can still position them and space them out a little bit more before it dries. And you can always wipe the excess glue, and you're going to go over that with some paint anyways, but this way you can really position it where you want it. Well, what's up guys, RussLyman here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this custom blue shell cargo carrier. It sits on top of my Mario Kart car and everyone loves looking at it. They do a double take. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, it's a nice beautiful sunny day. I'm in my backyard because my blue shell is back here. Here's my giant blue shell. I want to show you guys kind of what it looks like. We're going to be putting it back on the car. Yeah, so let me give you an overview of it. So here's my fully custom fiberglass blue shell cargo carrier. Kind of fits good in the wilderness here. So the wings are fabric. They're a little weathered from being outside. And yeah, the whole shell is hard fiberglass. And yeah, if you look back here, it's where I have all my other stuff. Under this bumper, this is the first shell the red shell. So yeah guys, I wanted to show you real quick how I made the red shell, because this is what started it all. I wanted to make sure I was able to fit my spare tire in it, so I started everything with an MDF base, put a tire on there, and kind of based the size around that. Then I got some plastic strips that bent easily, and I put that around the shell of it, basically with some dowels, glued that on to start forming the shape that I wanted. Then I just stretched some fabric over the top of that and soaked it in resin until it hardened. This way I can put the fiberglass on top of that. But before, I had to make the structures that really made it a shell. I was basing it off this picture, top-down picture of a turtle shell. So I was using a couple dowels and great stuff, expanding foam. So you spray this stuff on and it expands, and then once it hardens over 24 hours, you can then sand it back and shape it a little bit more. So then on top of the expanding foam, I just put a layer of like sheetrock compound, just so the resin and fiberglass wouldn't eat through the foam itself. And then I ended up fiberglassing the whole thing, and then also painting it with a mixture of fiberglass and Bondo together. This ended up making it weigh a whole lot more than I wanted to, but I got the shape desired. And here you can see some old video of the shell itself. It opens up. I got some chains up there so it doesn't completely open up. Got my spare tire up in there. But again, this thing weighed a lot to put it up on top of the car. I said it probably weighed 75 pounds or so. But luckily, when I wanted to do the revision and make the blue shell, I had this to make a copy of. So basically, I put tape all over the red shell, masking tape and some packing tape as well, and then fiberglass on top of that, so I can pull a full fiberglass mold. So this way I didn't have all that extra material in there. So now when I went on to make the blue shell, I needed to add spikes and wings on it. So I went to Joann's Fabric and bought foam cones that they had, and I glued those on. But the cones themselves weren't as thick as I wanted them to be, so I took like some twine and wrapped it around all the cones to like thicken it up. And then I soaked that in resin, and then ended up putting a mixture of resin and Bondo over that. And the placement of the wings itself, I actually had to cut 2 of the spikes with the layout and attach the wings on there with that. I didn't make the wings myself. Luckily, my friend Jen is awesome at sculpting, so she sculpted me the wings out of, again, great stuff, expanding foam, and they were perfect to scale. And then I just fiberglassed them to the shell itself. This way I had no issues of them falling off. Then I put a very thin layer of Bondo on it. I wanted to make sure the weight stayed down on this. And once that was on there, I ended up painting the shell. I just used some acrylic paint as a base coat. It stayed on there okay. It was up there for maybe 2-3 years on the outside of the car, so it had some weathering. But this overall turned out pretty great with the color scheme. And even if it was a little bit rough around the edges, you know, it still looked like a shell, turtle shell, that maybe was more realistic. It didn't have to be absolutely perfect, sanded down and everything like that. So this is from 2017 footage you're watching, and it's the shell being brand new, put on the car, and this is version 2 of my car, of the Mario Kart car. And it looks awesome. It really pops. Nice fresh paint on there. The wings look fresh because they haven't been weathered, so they're nice and white. These chains here so it doesn't open all the way, but this one kind of broke down there, so I gotta replace that. So we're gonna replace those 2 little things there. The inside, you know, you can kind of see all the tape that I used when I molded, and I used aluminum foil so I can pull the mold a little bit better. But yeah, the inside's rough because you're never really gonna see it. And I just painted the inside black to look a little better. Put a couple holes just so you can have some drainage. But let's go get those pieces so I can fix that. 480 pounds, quick link. These should work good.
there. A little bit more. It's up on the roof rack now. I do have a little hinge right here that keeps it from kind of opening up. I don't lock it because there's nothing in it right now. But then I also have the hinges on the front right here that kind of keep it center. And these just pop open like so. And then you can tighten these down. They screw in to get a tight fit, and then it just goes right there on the latch. And then when you press down, pulls it down and keeps it nice and tight. And you can't see the exposed hinges over here, which is whatever. It has to hinge open, so it's a little hard to hide those, and they're attached to a 2x4 on each side, so it's nice and sturdy. I suppose I can fiberglass something over that, but it's not that big of a deal for me. And you could definitely see how much weathered the wings are and kind of peeling off in some spots here and there, so they definitely taken a beating, but you know, it gives it a more distressed look. This side too, looking a little weathered. It's seen many races. Alright guys, that's the quick tour of the blue shell cargo carrier that I made. Let's jump in the car. We'll get some awesome B-roll so you guys can really enjoy the view of it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the build video of the blue shell and found it interesting. If you guys want, I have a full playlist of me modifying my custom Super Mario Kart. Have me purchasing it, painting it, putting the graphic on it, doing the headliner in it. It's definitely a fun watch. There'll be a link at the end of the video and in the description down below. Subscribe if you're not already, guys, because I put out weekly videos. And as always, I'm RussLyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit. I'll see you next video.
And I want to give a super shout out to all my Patreon supporters: Dan Buchanan, Joey Ellis, George Sandoval, Joseph Riviera, Nintendo, Joe Sheevy, David Apuzzo, Maynard, Brian Culpepper, TechWizX, Matthew Hannigan, Alex Kaz, Ayan Oshi, Gannon, and all my Patreon supporters. Link below if you want to join, and I'll see you later. Alright guys, so we're going to be decoupaging my dashboard, and the first thing you need is Mod Podge, something like this. It's like a glue essentially. We're going to be using this as a base to put down on our canvas. And something you can use are magazines. They work real great. I actually ordered a bunch of strategy guides. So I got some Mario Kart strategy guides, Mario Kart 7, 8, a little smaller one, just some variety, and Double Dash. I'll be ripping pages out of this and attaching it to, well, to my car's dashboard right here. So let's get into it. Alright guys, we got the dashboard all set to go. We decoupaged the whole thing. I kind of went back and did some stickers as well and added some extra stuff. So we're ready to add the bar top or epoxy, however you want to call it. I'm using wet systems. So it comes with the resin and the hardener. I never used this before, but it seemed super easy. You attach these pumps to the system itself, and it's one pump of resin, one pump of hardener, and then you're good to go. It's already basically mixed. So I'm going to be pouring it on. I don't know how much we're going to go through, but we're going to do a full layer, possibly let that fully cure and see if that's enough. So let's get to it. Okay, so one thing I came to realize after doing this dashboard, I kind of ran into a couple issues, and I didn't want to discourage anyone from trying to do a project and maybe getting stuck in it and not wanting to go through with it, essentially. But we saw it through, installed the dashboard, and well, here's what happened. So I had gotten the dash installed in the car here, and I noticed something which I didn't plan for. Okay, so you get in the car and you're ready to go, and it's a bright sunny day, and what I didn't realize when driving the car, the reflection on the windshield was insane because of the gloss that I put onto the dashboard and all the bright colors. While I'm driving around, it reflected up onto the windshield, so it made it hard to see. The other thing I didn't take into account is the sun. Driving around all day, the sun is constantly beating on the dashboard, and it ended up sun fading all the magazine pictures that I put on the dash. So now it looks pretty faded, as you will be able to see. And here's the dashboard right here. You know, something that was good on paper, but when we brought it into the real world, you know, I didn't realize it was going to get so sun faded like that. Okay, now I did try to prevent it, and I went out and bought this UV clear coat by Krylon, and it's supposed to help non-yellow things in the UV rays from the sun. I did a couple coats of this after I put the clear epoxy on there, and you know, as you can see, it didn't do the job. Maybe if I had to put more of this on there, but the sun is very harsh. It sun fades lots of things. You can see it all the time in, you know, game stores that you go to. They have DVDs in the window or video games, and the boxes become sun faded. The only way around this would have been to get expensive vinyl and put that on the dashboard itself. And guys, as you can see, the graphics I have on the outside of the car here were expensive vinyl, so they have a coating on it so it's not going to fade during the sun. So this has been on there for couple years now and still looks nice and bright, so that would be one option if you got vinyl like this and had it stretched over the dashboard. If you guys want to see how I put this vinyl on, there's a link in the description or up top. Now, I did have an extra dashboard that I got from a friend, and I was able to work on that while this old one was still in the car. What I ended up doing was grabbing some satin spray paint. Now, this is the same blue that's on the outside of my car. It's a satin finish, so it's not glossy, so we'll run into less issues, and it's a darker color. So we painted the whole dashboard in this blue color, and then to give it some pop, I did add vinyl decals. They're white, and they're not super glossy, so they stuck on there, added that character that I wanted to make it a little bit more and still fit with the theme. I have the racing flag stripes on the dashboard that match the racing flags that are on the outside of the car as well. So it ties the theme together, and I think overall it turned out a lot better. I definitely think I want to add a couple more gauges on where the GPS is currently located. I left some room there to kind of mount some stuff to it. I just don't know what yet to put there, just to kind of race car vibe it up. The more gauges, the faster you go, I think. I think that's how it works. Adds the horsepower. Again, I said if I had known this going forward, I could have prepped a little bit more, but that's why we try these experiments in DIY projects. You're not sure what the outcome is going to be, but it shouldn't discourage you from trying it and seeing where you can get. It's basically problem solving. So I ran into an issue with the dashboard. How are we going to solve it? The only easier solution that I thought of was with spray paint and painting the dash again. If you guys are curious, I have a NRG clear acrylic steering wheel. I picked that up from their website. It was a limited release. Definitely eye-catching. And then I had used some fabric that matches my Clazzio seat covers to go over the steering column. This way it kind of ties the interior all together. And my little table on the side can hold my Game Boy or other items, I guess, you know, while you're eating. If I have a passenger in there and they want a snack, you can put some food on there. But the whole interior there works out pretty good. On my GPS, I actually have Mario Kart on there. Instead of a regular car, it's a Mario Kart car. So all the details, the fine details, I made sure to theme with the car. If If you guys want to check out a full build of my car, I have a playlist of me purchasing the car, painting it, doing the seats, headliner, and everything in there. You can check that link out. And of course, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I put out videos weekly. As always, guys, I'm RussLyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit. I'll see you next video. And I want to give a super shout out to all my Patreon supporters: Dan Buchanan, Joe Yelich, George Sandoval, Joseph Riviera, Nintendo, Joe Sheevy, Kelly Moore, David Apuzzo, Maynard, TechWizX, Matthew Hannigan, Alex Kaz, Ian Oshie, Canonman, and all my Patreon supporters. Link below if you want to join, and I'll see you later. Hey guys, RussLyman here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to turn your plain stock lights to something a little bit more with a little bit of yellow film right here. You can do this to fog lights, headlights, tail lights, even side markers. It's quick and easy. I'm going to show you the steps. Let's check it out. So obviously step one, you can remove your fog lights or your headlights. It'll be a lot easier to work with them if they're out of the car. If it's a little bit hard to get them out, you can do it while it's attached to the car. It's just recommended to take them out just because it's more easier. And then, yeah, you're going to need your film. I picked this up on Amazon. It was $7 for the roll, and I'm going to have enough to do both of my fog lights here and definitely have plenty of extra left over. So if you guys need it, link in the description. And just a quick list of some other tools you'll need. I got a little bit of lubricant. You can use this or maybe glass cleaner, and we're going to be using a little bit of clay bar right here. Same stuff you would, clean your car's paint with. We're going to use it to clean the headlight. And then just, some scissors, a razor knife, and then lastly, a old gift card works great as a squeegee. So here's your stock fog light, and we're just going to clean it. I'm using some quick detailer right here, and we're just going to grab our clay and just rub it back and forth to get any of the contaminants off of the headlight. And once that's done, we're just going to clean it with a microfiber towel and a little bit of glass cleaner just to finalize it. Nice and shiny. And you can also do this with a little round fog light as well. The process is the same, but it's going to be a little bit different when we're wrapping the film. Take your film and cut a piece a little bit bigger than your fog light. Use scissors or razor knife. And there's the film there. It's going to cover it perfectly, and you need to peel back. This is a protective layer on the film. You got to peel that back, and then you have to peel one more layer back that reveals the sticky side of the film, and that part is going to go on the headlight right there, fog light. So once it's stuck down, you use your squeegee from the middle and squeegee out so you don't get any air bubbles. Did get one right here, but you can lift up the film, get rid of the air bubble, and squeegee it out. It's pretty forgiving at how many times you can lift it up and reapply it while it's still being sticky. And now just trim the edge with your razor knife. And once it's all trimmed up, I get a heat gun and just heat up the film a little bit. Make sure to keep the heat gun moving. And this will make the film a little bit more pliable, and you can round over those edges. Use your hand or a microfiber towel. Again, I still got a little bubble here, and it's still time to go back, so you can peel up the film just a little bit and use your squeegee gift card here and just get it out like that. Now we're going to do the same thing with a little bit rounded fog light. I just cut out a square, plenty of room, and removing those two pieces, the protective film and then the backing, to reveal the sticky part. This one you're definitely going to need a heat gun a lot more to make the film more pliable. You could start off with your squeegee, just getting it set there, but then you can pull the film. It stretches pretty good to get over those curves, so this way you have less creases. Again, keep using that heat gun and keep it moving. Then just running it around the edges so it contours to the edge right there, and then I'm going to trim it with my razor knife. Once that's done, just peel it back, a little bit more heat gun action, and you're done. And there's both fog lights.
the round ones. And now last step, put it back onto your car. Just attaching my bumper back on here, and we're ready to go to see how it turned out. Well guys, that was a quick DIY project to turn your stock headlights or fog lights to something a little bit more eye-catching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, and if you guys like more car build videos, I have a full playlist of me working on my custom Mario Kart car. Link in the description and at the end of the video. And if you guys are new here, consider subscribing. I put out weekly videos. As always guys, I'm RussLyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit. I'll see you next video. And I want to give a super shout out to all my Patreon supporters: Dan Buchanan, Joe Yellis, George Sandoval, Joseph Riviera, Nintendo, Joe Sheevy, Kelly Moore, David Apuzzo, Maynard, TechWizX, Matthew Hannigan, Alex Kaz, Ian Oshie, Cannon, and all my Patreon supporters. Link below if you want to join, and I'll see you later. Here we go!
Russ, what you doing? Russ, what you doing? Russ, what you doing? Let's find out.
Summertime is here. We got the warm weather, the sun shines, and I'm ready to get on the road and do some cruising in the Mario Kart car. Fortunately, I have to take off my winter tires, and I'm going to be switching out my blue shell that's on top of my car for something different for the summer, just to switch it up a little bit and have a summer mode for the M car. But before we get into the video guys, if you enjoy thrifting, video game DIY, including custom controllers, consoles, figures, cosplay, and live streams, well, consider hitting that subscribe button. Every Tuesday and Thursday we're putting out new videos, keeping your world fun bit by bit. Let's get into the video. Alright guys, it is the first day of summer, nice and bright out. I'm going to be switching some things up on the Mario Kart there. I'm not going to have the blue shell on for now, and we got to change out the winter tires to my summer wheels. Let me show you why I'm taking the shell off. Alright, so you get in the car here, let's start it up and open the sunroof. And as you can see, it's blocked by the shell. Right there is the bottom of the shell, so don't get too much airflow in this way. So, you know, it looks great on the outside, but I like to get some use out of the sunroof during the summertime. So we're going to switch it out. I got something different to put on there, and it'll be a lot better than this. So, yeah, close it up. Well, we have to unlatch it here. So we have to take all the things out of the shell. I do have my spare tire in there, so. And the latch right here. Perfect. So all that stuff will have to come out.
right, there it is. I got my Donkey Kong barrel up there. It's definitely more spacious and you can use the sunroof now. So we'll have a look inside and see what it looks like. Sunroof action, let's open it up. There we go. Nice. So we get some breeze coming through here. We can reach out. We'll feel the wind coming through in here. Got the Donkey Kong barrel right on there and it's secure, really tight. I'll show you where it's locked in so it doesn't go anywhere. And you can see the straps right here that lock into the roof rack. So this thing won't move anywhere. Nice nylon straps right there. You can see my bolts. I'm gonna tighten that one a little bit. All right, and so it's an empty bear cage that I ended up painting. I have a video that I put out long ago if you guys want to check me out painting it, but I secured it with some U-bolts right here. So 2 in the front right there, and then there's 1 around the back, right on the edge here. Keeping it on, and we got it's on like Donkey Kong. Yeah, but I might have to repaint this wrench so it matches the car a little bit better. It's the same one I have in the trunk here. Got the wrench and the plunger in the trunk. But set up good. I got Donkey Kong fabric right there. I have it right there, and then I also have it on my shifter boot. You can see right here, because there's Mario. There he is in Donkey Kong. So I thought it still fits with the theme of the car with the Donkey Kong barrel and a little bit lighter for summer. Yeah, now all we got to do is change out my wheels right here and put my summer tires on, and we'll be good for summer mode. Alright guys, a few days has passed. I got my scooter out. I'm going to be working on that, but I want to finish up the car. It's a little bit cooler, so I'm going to get my summer wheels out and we're going to change those out. Whew, sweating out here. So before I put on the next tire, I want to show you guys, I do have wheel spacers right here, which they attach to the hub, pushing the wheel out a little bit more. These are an inch thick, I believe, and I think on the rear, I think I have 2 inches. We'll have to take a look, but I just like the overall appearance of it, and they are hub centric right here to keep the wheel
in the middle of the tire. That's why we put those little plastic pieces so they sit up against this so it's not going to move around. You can kind of see under here. You know, having all the salty and wet winters, salt on the road causes the rust. So fortunately, that's a thing here. Go. So see how much thicker this back one is. I believe it's 2 inches, and they just attach here a little bit of lock thread so that doesn't come off, and then it gives you your new bolts. You could also get attachments where it'd be a 5-lug pattern, so you could run different wheels, but I don't know, I like these wheels, so it works out. Alright guys, that was my quick video turning my car into summer mode. I do change out the barrel and put the turtle shell back on here and there, but I do enjoy having the sunroof option when I'm driving around. The car will probably stay in this mode till probably about November, so maybe a little bit before, because then it gets too cold to work on the car here in New England. If you What's up guys, RussLyman here, and if you guys don't know, I drive a 2005 Scion XA Mario Kart Edition. Now I customized this ride from the paint color to the interior. I have a full playlist of me purchasing the car and getting to where it is right now. So I wanted to do a fun little mod. It's an easy, quick mod, but maybe you guys will get some inspiration from this. Now I was browsing on the internet looking for headrest pillows, little pillows that go on your headrest in your car, and I came across these. These are little pillows that look like nitrous oxide bottles. Now they strap to your car with elastics right there, and they have a nice little graphic there. Everything's soft and plushy, and this would go behind your neck while you drive. I thought this was really awesome, and I thought it would fit with the theme of the car. Now, of course, most people remember Nas from the Fast and Furious movie.
I need Nas. I need Nas. One of the big ones. Actually, you know, let's make it two. An area I need to buy tonight.
So I thought it fit great with the Mario Kart theme, since, you know, you're zipping around on the track and you can use some boost. But I did want something different for the front headrest. So I went to Etsy and looked up for headrest pillows on there, and there's a whole bunch of sellers on there making custom pillows, and I decided on this style. It's a gray pillow to kind of match my interior with a little bit lighter piping, and then I had the Nintendo logo embroidered right on there in red, and these are going to be just attaching with a little bit of elastic strap. So simple, pretty universal. Let's head out to the car and install these. Okay, so we're outside in my car and we're just going to attach the pillows on the headrest. I guess you can choose which way you want it to face, saying the NOS, but make them both face the same way essentially. I thought these looked best in the back seat, so that's where we're going to put those. And then I got the more bigger ones here with the Nintendo on the front seat. Again, simple install because they're all just elastic bands, so let's get to it. Alright, well, as you can see, it's a very simple install to put these headrest pillows in there and add a little bit of comfort and style to your ride. It certainly pops out with the NOS pillows out there. I thought it fit the theme very great. And then the custom ones I got off of Etsy here with the Nintendo design. And if you guys were curious on how I did my dashboard, I have a full video. I'll leave the link in the description down below in case you want to check that out. Also, I have a video on how I did my headliner with the checkerboard here, and I even got the sunroof access there. If you guys are curious how to rewrap your headliner, you can check that video out as well. And also, these are car seat covers. Clazzio is the company that does the car seat covers. I, of course, have a video of me putting the car seat covers onto my seats. It really dresses up the interior for low cost rather than getting it fully reupholstered. All right, enough chit chat here. Let's get back into the studio. All right, well, that was a fun, quick, and easy install. These things are great. I purchased them on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to get one for your car. And they also have a larger one as a pillow. I picked this up. You could probably just rest it in your car. It said it's made for like a back pillow for your lower back, but you could always just put it on the couch as display as well. And it's super cushiony. Someone said they almost look like dog toys, but I'm sure a dog would rip right through this within a few minutes, so maybe not so. But again, guys, if you enjoyed this quick DIY and you are curious more about my Mario Kart car, I have plenty of videos you guys can check out on the build of that one. Of course, the build is never done, so there will be more modding to the car coming soon when we get more time. The weather is great, so I'm excited to get out there, hit up some car meets and car shows, show the car off, maybe bring it to a game convention or something like that. If you guys have any suggestions for what I should do to the car, leave them in the comment section down below. And well, as always, gamers, What's up, guys? RussLyman here, and I am definitely no stranger to custom shift knobs. I have a whole bunch of different ones that I made. I have a Mega Man head that was pretty neat that I made a build video for. A Pokemon ball. I also have a Donkey Kong barrel that I put together. And of course, my first shift knob that I did was this Mario mushroom. The tin has since seen better days. And today we're going to be adding something to it. I'm going to be making a custom shifter knob out of this banana. I got 2 plastic bananas right here, and we're going to try to mimic the banana peel in Mario Kart. I got 2 in case I mess up, so hopefully this goes well. And then I'm going to be using a lug nut. This is a lug nut that will go on a car wheel, and this is what I use to screw on the shift knob. One thing I did notice in the Mario Kart banana, it's more of a straight shape rather than curved like this. So we're gonna try to straighten this guy out with a heat gun and see if I can bend it, because we're gonna be cutting it and then flailing out the banana peels, I guess is the best way to describe it. So we'll see if that works. We're going to break the Dremel out and get our cutting bit and just cut a couple slits in it. I think it'll be easier to bend it then, because it won't have all that tension. For some reason, I thought it was hollow, but it seems there's foam inside. So, okay. We'll go with it. You can see the inside has all foam in it. I was scraping away some of the foam right here, so this way it can bend more and still have this skin there. But not too bad. But then we're just gonna have to hollow out something to put like a piece of wood or something in there, so then we can put this piece right in there. Guys, so we got to this point here. I scraped off all of the foam inside, so this is just loosey-goosey, and the rest inside is still the styrofoam. So it's still got the styrofoam inside. You could actually still peel it like an actual banana right there. I'm peeling back a little bit of the layer. So I'm trying to think. So we got this base right there, but it's styrofoam. It's not going to hold up. If I put this in here, and when we want to tighten this down onto the shift, it's just going to move and then pop right out. So what I'm thinking is hollowing out some of this, and then I have right here 2-part epoxy. You can mix these together and they get a nice hard surface. So if I can fill just a little bit of area in here and insert my nut, then that's going to cure nice and hard, and then you'll have a nice secure surface for a shift knob, because we're going to be, you know, moving on this thing a lot here. Okay, the more I thought about it, it being in that depth right there, and you're going to be doing a lot of pulling, it's basically just going to pop out. We need to fill this whole thing so it's a one solid piece and not this foam. So we
going to use a couple spade bits here to drill in and cut this out. There we go. Now while it's still soft, I'm going to go to the car, screw this on, and we're going to push it pretty deep in there. This way it has more stability. So I got all of the 2-part clay in there, and it takes 24 hours to harden. But while that hardens, I was thinking it does have eyes on the front, and I have a little bit of clay left over, so I can make that out of clay, so it's a little more 3D-ish. There we go. I just got to add the white to his eyes once this all dries. Well, pretty good. I got the banana all ready to go. I actually made 2 of them. Slightly different. This one has 4 peels on it, and I was looking at the picture, and it should have 3, so I went back and made this one, which came out a little bit better. And I have the peels, so they stay a little bit flatter. So I just have to go back, add some white dots for his eyes there, and then clean up. I added some super glue for stability of the peels because they were breaking. And I want to paint the inside a little bit cream color like a banana. Not that anyone's ever going to see the bottoms of these, but on the side of this one it broke open a little bit, so we'll do that. But yeah, 2 of them just in case, and then we'll put them in the car. I'm just going to be using some cheap acrylic craft paint to put my paint on. Got assorted colors here and my little paint guy. Guys, RussLyman here, and on today's DIY video, I'm taking a look at 3D printed tire valve stems. That's right, making custom tire valve stems for your car with 3D printing. Now, the sky is the limit, and as you guys know, I drive a custom Super Mario car. It's pretty awesome. I had fun
putting it together, my buddy Andre reached out to me and was like, can I make you a couple custom tire valve stems in the Super Mario theme? So he came up with these 3 designs right here. We got right here Bullet Bill, pretty simple, almost already looks like a valve stem right there, but we have the sunken in eyes and the teeth, the great details on this. A little bit more basic shape, we got the Mario question mark block right here with just a little extension onto the tire valve stem where it'll screw in. Simple yet cool. One thing we did end up noticing was the question mark is printed backwards. It's flipped for some reason. Not sure if the file messed up or whatever, but it looks a little odd, but you could still recognize it, so we're just gonna go with it. And then finally, the most complicated is a little bomb complete with tiny legs and the twister crank right here, just missing a little wick, but pretty awesome. Now these look pretty great as is. I think he just used whatever filament he had lying around, so I'm going to take it the next step and paint these to kind of match what they were supposed to look like. A black bomb, bullet bill is black, and then yellow on the question mark block. So what I ended up doing is going to the hardware store and getting a couple bolts that you can just put the tire valve stem on like so, and we're going to glue them on top of a piece of cardboard. This way it makes it easier to paint. So we're going to do that and get to the paint booth. Alright, these are all nice and dry. We're going to bring them to the paint booth so we can get some clear coat on it so it protects the acrylic paint that I put on there. Crystal clear Rust-Oleum, that's the stuff I use. Swear by it, it's really good. Alright, here are the pieces with the clear coat on it, all hardened up and ready to put on the car. It just really shines when you put that clear coat on everything and seals it all in. The acrylic paints then pop once again instead of looking flat, and all the details that I touched up on with the black paint, especially with the bullet bills right here, looks a lot cleaner. It's so hard to paint that tiny, though. I never did before, and hopefully my paintbrush, was small enough. I was using the smallest tip I had to get in there, and you hardly see these on the tires unless you look very close, but it's the small details that make it fun. And yeah, let's go put them on the car then.
Alright guys, well there we go, custom valve stems in a Mario theme. These turned out pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with the detail, fine detail that we had to put in these here. You'll have to get close up on the tire to appreciate them, so yeah, I'll probably just end up putting these on at car shows, leaving them on all the time. They're gonna get hit with rocks and stuff on the road or possibly fall off, or someone actually just stealing them. So if they're on just at a car show, they're only there for a short time and people hopefully don't abuse it. The question mark block, although it was printed wrong, it actually didn't even fit on the valve stem itself. It seems the thread inside is too large. I don't know if it was from me putting it on here and screwing it on, but because it fits on here, although these fit on here as well and they fit on the ones out there, I don't know, but it ended up just popping off. So if I put these on, they'll just pull right off. So they'll definitely just have to be at car shows only. Although the yellow on yellow, it doesn't pop as much as does the bomb or the bullet bill. Since it's black, it pops off the yellow on the wheel itself right there a lot better. Well guys, thanks so much for sitting through that and watching the full build process. It certainly was an awesome journey, and well, I'm not done yet. Are you ever done with a build? I don't think so. There's always things you can do to it. So we're gonna be still working on the car, so subscribe so you don't miss that. But if you enjoyed the M-Kart build, well, I turned my scooter into Yoshi. I have my Mario Kart car and my Yoshi scooter. So check out that video here. Till next time, I'm RussLyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit. I'll see you next video.